usually don't post like informative videos, but people have told me I should try. And I'm going to work with, today we're going to do posing for upright, compact breeds such as Netherland dwarf, and in this specific situation, Holland lops. And all of the posing videos are always these rabbits that are built well, and that are, well behaved. And I figured I should break that cycle. This is a baby. She is 6 weeks old tomorrow, and she's anything but well behaved. She is built well, though. So I'm going to go over how you want to actually pose up a Holland that does not want to deal with you. So a lot of the times what it is you touch their face and they freak out like that. So the first thing you want to do is just work with them every single day and get them to a point where they're not that nervous. But say, for instance, you just want to pose them up for one day and make sure you get it right. She hasn't been worked with much since I've been busy, and she is built well, but you saw there for a moment she held it. So what you want to do is, work with the whole squirmy thing. Let them squirm, let them get tired so they kind of burn out. And it might take a few minutes, but eventually they give up. And then you want to bring your fingers down around the ear and hook behind the cheek and hold. And I know a lot of people are always scared when you're this firm. Now you're not holding onto their head, you're holding onto their cheeks more, and mainly their ears, so they can't squirm without breaking their neck, but you also have a firm grip on them. And mainly if you put your fingers on the back of their head, they can't rear their head up as much. And the first thing with posing any Holland is especially with babies, I put my middle finger and my thumb on the inside of their hind legs, and you square out the hind quarter, and then you line up the shoulders, and then you can pose them up. And you can see the top line, and then eventually you can get them to let go, and for a second there she posed. That's how you can pose a squirmy baby. Now I'm gonna grab that's a built well Holland. I don't think I actually have anything that's poorly built. I can pull out somebody with a mom bod that is going to be longer in body, and I can show you how not to overpose. I was just about to tattoo, I just numbed everybody's ears. I figured this would be a good time. Who do I have? Oh goodness. I'm just gonna steal this girl. She's the closest thing I have to anything with a long body. And then I also have this rabbit down here, has a leg injury, and I can show you how to work with that too. Now she is also skittish. She does have babies, so she is tender. This is my Siamese sable Brutto. She is a beefy girl, and I love her very much. But she is not going to fit the standard. Ever since she was a baby, she's just very big. So she poses up immediately, just because she's been worked with. But you can already see her flaws, mainly long limb. And now if I turn her forward, you can see she lacks depth in her chest. That's why it goes in here. And she lacks width, which is why her feet are so close together. Now she does sit up, which shows, good on her end. She has a longer body. I think she grew into it. She also has a long limb, so that props her up more, and you don't have the problem so much that you see. Now this rabbit has a bad left leg, and this was done by a judge pulling her out of the thing to her right leg, pulling her out of the show cage, and her foot caught, and now she leans. But you can see she has better chest depth, better limb length, but she's a leaner. So when I pose her up, I square up the back feet, and she'll lean forward because of this. And if a rabbit naturally wants to lean forward but won't sit up like that, physically their feet lift, that's how you can tell that that's a build flaw, because you see people scrunch them together. And now I'm going to pull out a very nice boy that poses up very nicely for anybody. He even held his pose for his best in show photos. This is Charles, and the easiest thing I can show you is, so you grab with bucks and larger, like full seniors, I square them off with my thumb and then again with my middle finger, but I square them off with my whole hand right off the bat. The first thing you want to do is get the feet straight, and then you gently lift with the chin, and I'm going to show you once he holds it longer what that should look like around the whole body. Hi, and he does lean into attention, so my hands are like face rubs and he wants to lean into that. Now he does not look good from this angle. He looks a lot better from that angle. Now, so, I don't know if he's not going to let me show you. Hi, Charles. Yes, so he has a very full crown, the crown should look completely round from up top. And now I can do a behind so you can see what a good body looks like. Very full, there's no indents here. Very round, and again from the top looks like a full circle. Let's show you front. Now he has, let's get a look at those feet. He has great feet. So they're short up, now lickies. They're short, he could use a little bit more chest width, but it's balanced for his body. So you can see how short his front feet are. That's what you want, and you see it in side profile too. The feet stop right here. So that's what a good Holland looks like. Now there's plenty of photos on what a good Holland looks like. But the thing you want to remember mainly is where the feet line up. The front feet should line up with the front of the eye along with the chest. Let's see if I can get good representation of that. Who holds nicely? I have so many rabbits. This is not okay. Let's grab Dad. Now let's grab brother-in-law. So this is Ivan. He also took a best in show, and he holds his pose up better. Sometimes. He should. Well, he's also molting. So when he sits properly, so you see how the hip lines up with the hind leg, we're going to ignore the front half of him. And then when he gets his acts together and sits up nicely, there you go. Hi. Yes. So when he sits up nicely, his eye lines up with the front of his feet. He's overposed. There you go. And so his ear is right by his eye. His head's a little bit high. His eye should line up with the top of, he just wants to say hi, with the top of his spine. And you'll see plenty of pictures of that. But there's just not much on how to physically hold a rabbit that does not behave. And I'll show you the age I start working with them too while I'm at it. And this is my pick of the babies that I have this round. Her name, I already named her, she's tiny. This is Iced Coffee. And I love her. She's like 4 weeks old. And you can tap noses to get babies to sit up. But you can see her eye lines up with her spine and with her front feet. Ooh, I know, scary. And you can put the whole body in place with one hand with these little things. This is the age, if you see one that's already a gem, like her, that you want to work with, this is the age to do it. 4 weeks, 5 weeks is when you start. Because then you get natural posers. Now the SOP, or the Standard of Perfection, does have plenty of examples of how to pose, but I personally love getting someone's hands on the rabbit and physically showing them what it should feel like. So if you have the opportunity to go to a show, find either a judge or an experienced breeder and ask them, hey, can I lay hands on a rabbit? Specifically the breed you're into, like we're getting into Rex now, and I don't know squat about Rex. I'm a Holland breeder. My sister is getting into Rex, and I asked one that took home a best in show, and then another one that took best in breed, and I asked her, I was like, hey, can I lay my hands on your Rex? And she was like, no, they got fur. And I'm like, I get that, Rex are fur. But she's like, I will show you, however, what they should look like. So she poses it up and runs her hands down, and you can see the pressure of where her fingers indent and where it's firm. And you can just see how it should look. That's the whole point of this video, so you can see how it should look and little things to get them posed upright. And you'll see judges overposing rabbits all the time. They just throw them on the table, they plop them upright, and then they move on. That's okay. They know, they see what they see. You don't have to pose them up perfectly to see faults or strengths. So just don't overpose, don't scrunch your rabbits, let them breathe naturally, and you should be fine.